The World Economic Forum is not just a conference. It's not just a talking shop, and it's certainly not neutral. It's a perfect example of this globalist worldview that does not see the world as a mosaic of nations, forged over centuries of blood, language, culture, faith and tradition, but as a collection of sectors to be managed. Populations reduced to data points, nations reduced to markets, culture reduced to an obstacle. This worldview, it doesn't ask, who are these people? It asks, how do we reorganise them? And we've got to note the language that they use: stakeholders, resilience, transformation, compliance, behavioural change. This isn't the language of belonging, it's the language of management. Klaus Schwab, the former head, has been remarkably open with this vision. You'll own nothing and be happy. And that phrase, it wasn't even pulled from a dark corner of the internet. It came from the World Economic Forum's own material. A vision of a future where ownership, rootedness and permanence are replaced with access, dependency and flexibility. This tells you everything that you need to know about them. Because people who own nothing won't defend anything. People without roots say yes to whatever the system feeds them next. And this is where their Young Global Leaders programme came in. Schwab didn't just want to influence ideas, he wanted to actually shape people as well. So he created a programme designed to identify these ambitious, pliable, technocratic personalities early, often and mostly before they'd even been tested by real responsibility, real failure or real loyalty to a nation. These weren't the warriors, they're not the builders, and they're not the custodians of our inherited culture. The bureaucrats, managers, careerists. And they're brought together, networked, flattered, immersed in this single worldview. A worldview where national borders are an inconvenience, traditions are inefficiency, and democracy is something that we must be guided rather than obeyed. And this isn't done with jackboots. It's done with invitations, fellowships, panels and prestige. Because you don't have to conquer nations anymore, you can staff them. And then quietly, these people are elevated into high positions in government, into ministries, into the media, into NGOs, into advisory roles. And they're all speaking the same language, repeating the same phrases and pushing the same solutions. Not because they were elected for it, but because they were selected. And if this sounds a little bit abstract, let me ground it for you. Look what's happened in the British Army. Once, the regimental system was the backbone of morale and identity. Men fought not just for king and country, but for their county, their town, their people. The Cheshire Regiment, the Yorkshire Regiment, the Black Watch, the Devon and Dorsets, the Parachute Regiment, each with history, each with pride, each with memory. And then came the reforms. Regiments were merged, names erased, traditions diluted, identity flattened. Efficiency was improved, but belonging was destroyed.